To color the design we transferred onto the fabric using yellow carbon paper, I've chosen white and brick red. Those tonal ranges we practiced will really come in handy here. Mixing white and brick red creates a color tone that's absolutely beautiful for flowers. And now we'll start painting. Take a closer look at these colors. Since I want to use tonal ranges, once again, a flat paper palette is much more suitable for me here. When our fabric is white or a very light color, there's no need for a base coat. We'll start applying the colors to the design based on the model or our own personal taste, and we'll add the highlights and shadows at the same time. Exactly, using that same tonal method. Look, I'm going to use the white and brick red color spectrum that blends together, creating very beautiful colors within the light and dark brick white range, and I'll use them with that same tonal approach. Once you apply the paint, you can start blending it so that the boundaries and lines between the different colors don't show on your work, making it look completely seamless. In the areas where you want the effect of light and brightness, use the lighter tones and shades. And for the parts you want to be darker, use the darker shades within this tonal range. Take a moment to carefully observe how the light and dark areas interact and adjust your tones as needed. In the necessary areas, blend with a dry brush so these boundaries fade cleanly and neatly, allowing the colors to transition into each other, but without any visible lines. For the parts that need to be darker, just like with the tones, we'll go ahead and add a darker color to our work. Pay attention to the paint's consistency. As I always say, it shouldn't be so thick that the paint just sits on the surface and doesn't soak into the fibers. And it shouldn't be so thin that the paint bleeds across the fabric and runs outside the lines, because that'll just end up looking like a messy job in the end. See, in the areas where I'm applying the darker colors, I make sure to blend them out completely. This is so I can achieve a smooth and clean finish. This blending technique is exactly like what we practiced when we were working on our tonal gradient strips. Using a clean, dry brush, now look, I want to darken these specific areas just a little bit. Just like with the gradients, I'll add the darker shade to the white and then start painting these sections. And once again, I'll use a dry brush to blend it all out. Anywhere that needs to be darker or requires a shift in color, while the fabric is still damp and the paint hasn't dried yet, we add the colors we need and blend them in quickly. When you wash your brush in water, make sure to dry it starting from the top of the bristles because water droplets can get trapped there and then drip down when you're holding the brush vertically to paint. This drop of water comes from here into the bristles of the brush and spreads across your work, making the paint look blotchy within the painting. See, I wanted to add some light here, so I went ahead and added the white paint and quickly started blending it out.